Welcome everyone to It Tastes Different Gaming News. Tonight, talk about PlayStation and the 30th anniversary limited edition bundle. The thing that costs $999.99 by itself has been scalped. Did we expect that it wouldn't be? There are insanely expensive bundles going on eBay right now if you go out there, from people who scalp the console, from anywhere from $3,500 to the more common $5,000 is what it's going for. And I even saw one really strange listing for $50,000 on eBay when I took a look myself. Understandably, I went out to StockX and didn't see it, but StockX, I think you have to have the actual item before StockX will let you sell it. So I imagine we'll start to see a lot more of those on StockX and things like that once the actual consoles get in the hands of those people who ordered them, the dirty D-bag scalpers out there. But yeah, as expected, the PS5 Pro sold out really quick within seconds, and you can't get one right now. So, and just enormous markup. So if the console was $999 US and 99 cents, or, I think it's 959.99 pounds, it got scooped up immediately, which is just insane to me that people are going to spend $1,000. But I mean, it is what it is, right? If people got money, they're going to spend it. Sold out quickly. And now they're on eBay for $5,000. How bad do you want one of those 30th anniversary limited edition bundles? I'm not even going for the Pro, so it's not for me anyway. So yeah, but sold out quickly. Got picked up by scalpers. And I'm sure people who wanted them got in and got them, but if you really wanted one and you were waiting until payday or something, well, I guess you're SOL because they're unavailable, which I would expect. Even if players who wanted them were getting them and scalpers didn't get a hold of them, they'd be sold out within minutes or hours anyway. But scalpers got to do what they got to do and ruin everything. So somebody has got to do something about this, because every time something comes out, and I don't just mean in video game world, right? In every aspect of everything, from tennis shoes to consoles to, items in limited quantity, scalpers will pick them up and immediately turn them over onto like eBay or some other site. So, and which really kills it for the people who want one, which creates this demand because people are trying to make a quick buck. I mean, you probably deserve what's coming to you if you're going to go spend $5,000 on it on eBay or whatever. But and you're part of the problem if you're going to go spend $5,000 on an item on eBay that should have only cost $1,000. It's and that's outside of the fact, is the Pro worth the upgrade, right? I can understand the 30th anniversary bundle because that's a collecting thing right there, right? The Pro is just it's the mid-gen bump, if you will, but in my opinion, it's not worth the $700 plus tax. It's going to cost you. But we got to deal with D-bag scalpers. They've just hit the gaming market pretty heavily over the last few years, especially around with the starting time of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Scalpers really picked those up and pushed those to eBay and StockX and all those other places where they go out to rip you off. My hope and wish is for those scalpers who picked up those consoles that just were trying to turn them around for a quick buck, chokes on it, and they can't sell them. So that's the best case scenario here. But more than likely, I don't know how many people are going to pick them up for $5,000, because that's a huge markup. $1,000 to $5,000. That's like asinine and stupid, but it is what it is. And we knew they were going to sell out quick, but not within seconds. I'm pretty sure it's there was a lot of people either botting it up to buy them, or they were hitting that refresh button like a madman and then ready to check out. So, Nick, what do you think about scalpers picking up this anniversary edition of the PS5 Pro, and then listing it for $5,000 all the way up to $50,000? What do you think about that? Are you going to pay $5,000 for your 30th anniversary Pro? And were you thinking about buying a 30th anniversary Pro console?
No and no. I would love to have, because it was the color scheme, and the logo was the color scheme of the original PlayStation. So I really liked the look of it, because it was it was nostalgic to see that color scheme and everything like that. But originally being $1,000. I mean, that was for everything, right? So that was the controller. I think you get the well, you don't get the disc drive, but you get a case for the disc drive. You get the PlayStation Prime. They had the Pro and the non-Pro, right? I think the Slim and the Pro version, and then you got something else. I want to say there was something else that came with it. I can't remember, but and they were all 30th anniversary themed. So, but $1,000 on its own, like that's a lot of money, right? I mean, that's a lot of money for a 30th anniversary. Like, it'd be cool if PlayStation just did a cover that you could just pop on, like a 30th anniversary cover for everybody else, right? You don't get the Pro, but you get the cover, right? And you could buy the cover. I mean, they are coming out with new covers, but of course, us launch PlayStation 5 people, they don't care about us anymore. It's all about the Slims and the Pros now, but that would have been cool if they just popped out a 30th anniversary cover that people could buy, right? If they want to just put a cover on there, maybe put something unique besides the cover and stuff on the PlayStation, which I think they did. I think they put like some of the symbols and stuff like that, like hidden throughout. That would be unique to the PlayStation 5 30th anniversary, whereas the cover itself would just be plain, right? It would still have the logo and be the gray, but other than that, it wouldn't have like the embossed like symbols and various things like that they may have done on the Pro or on the 30th anniversary version. But yeah, the scalpers selling it for that much. Like, I really hope that the individuals who wanted one were able to get one, right? Who saved their money up or whatever the case may be that wanted to legitimately go out and buy one. I hope they were able to do so, because I remember whenever the PlayStation 5 and Series X came out, it was hard to get a hold of both those consoles because scalpers were just eating them up every time we turned around. So I'm hoping scalpers didn't come in and just take all these consoles. I do think that the manufacturers and sellers need to do something about it, but they're not going to, because they're getting sold. So they don't care how they're getting sold as long as they're getting bought, right? So it just sucks for those individuals that really wanted one and couldn't get a hold of one, right? Keep your eyes open, right? I mean, I know they only made like 12,300 of those. So, but if you wanted the controllers and stuff like that, I think that only the consoles are the numbered or the numbered ones. I think the controllers and the other stuff is not limited in a sense. I don't think it's a part of that 12,300. So I know GameStop is doing like some things with the controllers and stuff like that. They might have limited stock of it, but you might be easier to get a controller because they have the DualSense in the 30th anniversary and in the regular PS5 Pro or PS5 controller in the 30th anniversary as well. So, keep your eyes open if you're still interested in something like that, but do not buy from scalpers. Yeah, I'm with you. I hope they sit on it and no one buys them, because eventually, if no one buys them, one of the two things are going to happen. One is they're going to move away. I would assume, hopefully, move away from buying stuff like that in the future. Certain scalpers might, because they're like, it really didn't pan out for me. I spent like $1,000 and I got nothing, right? I didn't want this. I wanted to turn around and make a profit, but I didn't get anything for it. So either they're going to once keep it for themselves, or two, they're going to turn around and sell it for a lot cheaper, right? It might start out 5,000, but if they can't get anybody to buy it may be like a couple $100 more than it actually was worth, right? So you could get it for super cheap, or like just maybe a couple $100 more than it was actually worth at the time they bought it. So, like 1,200 or something like that, which I'm sure somebody would probably buy, give or take. So $50,000, that person's out of their freaking mind. Like if somebody buys that, you're part of the problem. You're the reason why we have the people scalping, right? Because you go out there and you spend $50,000 on it, and that's just going to encourage more people to scalp items that are in high demand, right? If you're going to pay that amount, hell, if you're going to pay that amount, I'll buy $1,000 console and sell it to you for 50,000. But that's why people shouldn't buy that stuff. And we talked. I don't remember if you mentioned it, but you talked about earlier before we record this. You were talking about how eBay shouldn't allow for you to post, bids for things that you don't even own yet, right? You don't even physically have them, because they're already out there, and these aren't, they don't have them yet. They're not out yet. They don't come out till November. So it's like, you should be able to go out there and list something that, yeah, you've pre-ordered it, but what happens if, I mean, I don't know how that works. Like, what happens if the person wins the bid? Then do they pay you right away, and then what happens if that person, because, we had that trouble before where people were like losing their pre-orders left and right and stuff like that. It wasn't through Sony, but it was through like other, like Best Buy and some other ones. They were like losing or Walmart or something like that. They were losing their pre-orders. What if something like that happens where their pre-order gets lost, or they don't have the money, the scalper doesn't have the money anymore to purchase the item, right? They can't. And so they have to get rid of it. Like, and now they got to turn around and pay the individual back. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
And eBay has like a 30-day, 30 days of actual estimated delivery protection. So if you don't get it and you don't get to, don't get to complain to get your money back within time, then they just pocketed your $5,000.
So like, if I wonder how that works for items that aren't out yet. So like, if I went on there and bought, which I'm not going to do, let's say I went out there and bought the $50,000 one, sent my money for the guy, does that timer then starts then?
It starts 30 day. It starts from the date of estimated delivery date.
Okay.
So, but you got to read it right, because what if if they don't put the estimated delivery date as in November when the console comes out, and they just say delivery upon receipt of payment, and you're just not paying attention, and you get the bid, and let's say it's October 1, and then when the console comes out, I can't remember what date in November, but it's
7th, I think.
Yeah, which is obviously over the 30 days past the date that you won the auction. Then your SOL, they're not going to do anything for you. They're going to be like, you had 30 days from estimated delivery date.
Ridiculous. Don't give in to the scalpers. It sucks that you missed out on the 30th anniversary, but if you wanted a PlayStation 5 Pro, they are still available to pre-order, the regular ones. Me and Pat, before we recorded this, went out to PlayStation Direct to see if we could just add it to our cart and get to the I got all the way to the process of putting my credit card in and saying I want it. So, and it wasn't like when the PlayStation 5 came out and it kept refreshing everything and getting in a line and everything. It was really quick and easy. So if you want a PlayStation 5 Pro, the regular ones, you can still pre-order those. So those seem to be no problem. It's just the 30th anniversary that, unfortunately is gone. So it is what it is. And it sucks. But, I like I said, I like the look of it. I would love to have one, but I wouldn't have paid $1,000 for it to begin with. And, I'd rather have, like, I would love to have it as a collector's item, but I'd rather just have like I said, a cover. Just make a cover that I can buy, a gray cover with the PlayStation, the old PlayStation logo. That's all, it's all colored and everything like that with the gray PlayStation 1 design, and cool. Like I'll buy your cover, right? I want to buy one of your other covers, but you're not going to sell it to me because I have a fat PlayStation and you don't like me no more.
So. Yep. Don't like the old fatties anymore. Can only do the new Slims and the Pros.
Yeah, I like the chroma. I like the chroma colors. I think they're really cool. But I went to go look because we had talked about, all of us here had talked about, possibly picking which ones we liked and everything like that. And I was like, I wonder if they're only, because I only saw the slim version, and I'm like, I wonder if they're only in. No, looked it up, and yeah, apparently it's only going to be the slim and the pro.
That sucks, because I would have bought those covers. I really liked those covers. I was like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah, I like those covers too. But I guess they're missing out. I don't know.
Only the new and improved gets it.
Yeah. Missing out on my $50 for the covers or however much it was.
Yeah.
You're missing out on the payment for the covers. I would have bought a cover if you made it for the original PlayStation 5s. Maybe they will at some point, but it doesn't look like the chromas are going to be for that.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about all the controllers are sold out too. The 30th anniversary controllers, the DualSense Edge and the DualSense one, both are sold out with no estimated return date, but it doesn't list them as a limited item. So I don't know if it's just, they got busy and sold out, But it's kind of interesting that the PS5 Pro is still showing available, which either means that they're not putting a number of cap on those, or they're just not as popular, that they think they're going to sell out. So they're just leaving the purchasing of those open. But man, like the cheapest, some of the cheapest consoles that I saw on here, like $3,300 and stuff, and they've got like 57 people watching it or something. And it's like, because it's about to end, and you're just like, somebody's going to swoop in and bid on this thing, and for $5,000 or for $3,400 or $3,500, and I'm just like, how in the world, And
it's not worth it. I mean, yeah, it is a collector's item, and yeah, you will be able to sell it for probably a good amount, but it's going to be years before it gets to that point, right?
Yeah.
Be great for your grandchildren, I guess.
I mean, it's interesting looking, and I like it, but I'm definitely, I don't play on the PlayStation enough to justify the regular Pro price, let alone the $1,000 price tag for the one with the throwback logo and all that stuff.
Sure. And I wouldn't even mind having a PlayStation 5 Pro.
It's not that
the
price.
problem again for me is like, I play mainly on my PC for one, and when I do play on my PlayStation, I don't. Most of the time, I'm playing performance mode anyway. Like it doesn't bother me that much. Because I'd rather have that performance. No, I mean it'd be great to have the better performance of the PlayStation 5 Pro, but again, like if I could find something that would give me most of my money back for the PlayStation 5 that I have to buy a Pro, then sure, I'll go that route. But good luck, right, on that. I know GameStop was given, well, supposedly, I don't know, they were given like 400 and something at some point. They were saying on Reddit, but probably not our GameStop.
Yeah, I think I saw something where GameStop had listed it, trade in your PS5, for like this amount of store credit. And so I mean, and it was that amount. Like you can pay that, and I'm like, that just seems pretty high compared to the consoles, how much it is new.
Can you pre-order a PS5 Pro from
that
it just says coming soon.
Yeah.
On there.
So I wonder,
because it would make sense for GameStop to do that if they said, but you have to turn around and use that towards a PlayStation 5 Pro, right? We'll give you this amount of money and take your PlayStation 5, but then you have to take that basically and roll it into a PlayStation 5 Pro, right? For that amount of money, right? Otherwise, the normal like trade-in price is lower, right? If you're going to use it for other things. But if you're going to get a Pro and you order it from us, right, from GameStop, then bring it in, we'll trade that in, and we'll roll that into the pre-order of a Pro.
But it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense how they are making any money on that, right? Because and see, it's back down now. If I go in now, I can get up to $330 in store credit. So
that's with the
Pro, and then $300 for regular. But yeah, because I mean, because they're not selling refurbished PS5s for $500, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's not enough for me. Like I don't want to spend $300, even if they were giving me $400. I don't want to spend $300 on a Pro. Additionally, on top of it, especially for the limited amount of time that I do play on my PlayStation. Just like you, I'm on PC 90% of the time these days. And then usually it's just, are we playing a game that's everywhere? If it is, it's on PC. If it's only on consoles and it's on all of them, we're usually playing on an Xbox, and PlayStation is the exclusives, I think the only thing that we've been playing together on PlayStation, which we haven't played in a long time, was Helldivers too, so.
Yeah. I play a lot of single player games on PlayStation. So
me too.
I don't really need the fidelity. I don't really need the extra power. I mean, they look fine as is. So I'm fine with it.
Right.
And, I didn't buy a PS4 Pro either. Back in the day, because I just didn't think there was enough bump for it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same here. I just don't think there's enough bump for it, right?
Yep. In my opinion, too. Yeah, it's not worth the $700 price tag to me.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but if it is for you, then hey, more power to you.
You spend your money on what you want to spend your money. Just don't feed the scalpers. That's the number one
exactly. Rule. Just don't feed the scalper. You want a Pro? Go for it. Just don't feed the scalpers.
Yeah. if you wanted the 30th anniversary edition, I'm sorry, but
yeah, you missed out on that one.
Yeah.
But
you
maybe
can,
next time.
Yeah.
30
you
more
can-
years.
Yeah. You can just fashion yourself some plates and stuff, you know, of your own. Fashion your own plates and put them on there so it looks like the 30th anniversary edition. But
I'm sure someone makes like a skin or something that's 30th anniversary that you can
Right.
wrap it or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, just don't feed them scalpers. You know, that's the best thing for everybody. Because we all know our government's not going to step in and put any legislation in place to prevent this because it's all part of the capitalist scheme, right? Everybody thinks they're doing something something unique and special and that they're big capitalist thinkers by being scalpers, but you're just a dirty D-bag. You know, you have no I don't know, especially at that price mark, right? You know, going from $1,000 to $3,000 or even $5,000 or whatever that idiot on eBay is thinking for $50,000, you know? So, I don't know. It surprises the hell out of me that we have this problem this day and age with scalping of anything that's a market value good. You know, you shouldn't have scalping to begin with, but if we're going to allow something like this, there needs to be some type of laws in place of a percentage of markup or something, right? I don't think you should have it at all, but that's just my opinion. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, and this last thing for me is this, you know, this is a collector's item for the fans, right? That's initially what it was supposed to be for. So it's like, and it sucks that those fans didn't get to, most of them probably didn't get to participate in this collector's item, right? Because of all the scalpers that probably besides snatching up the consoles, probably also snatched up a lot of the DualShock, DualSense, and the regular controllers. But like you said, those don't have like a limited edition on them, so they'll probably come back in stock, I'm assuming, and you'll be able to pick one of those up. But
yeah, like I said, the only thing I saw that had limited edition listed on it was the consoles themselves, and and that number you had mentioned, 12,300. So it sucks, but nothing we can do about it as long as people keep feeding the scalpers. So, you know, just like don't feed the wildlife, don't feed the bears, don't feed the scalpers. You know, so it's going to keep coming back and keep raiding your trash cans. You know,
don't feed those raccoons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't participate, then they don't have a need to scalp, right? Or they're not going to scalp that particular item, right? If the consoles don't get bought, then those scalpers are more than likely not going to buy the next one, right? They're not going to invest in something that's not going to sell. So just don't give in. Unfortunately, people will give in and they'll end up buying them. And so the cycle continues.
Yep. All right. You got anything else you want to put to bed? It's probably a good thing Shane wasn't on this episode, or else would be a lot of F-bombs in here, you know?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you think about the PS5 Pro 30th anniversary, or the PS5 30th anniversary in general, the Slim and the Pro selling out within seconds, and all of them are on eBay getting scalped. Obviously, the PS5 Slim is usually it's double the price, what I've seen, about $900 or so on there. So, and I saw some for 12 or 13, $1,400, but on average, it looked like they're doubling the price of those and putting it on eBay. So, what do you think about that? You know, and were you interested in getting one and didn't get one, or maybe you did get one? If you got one and you really want one, that's cool. Let us know about it, because I guarantee there's a lot of envious people out there right now that are wanting to know your secret, right? How you got that? So let us know down in the comments. And you reached the end of this episode, and if you're not subscribed, why not? Help us out. We could use as many subscribers as we can, you know. If you enjoy listening to us rant about video games or just ramble on about them, we enjoy talking about them. We talk about them outside of this podcast and hang out together. And when we hang out together, it's always usually about video games as well. So let us know, what you think down in the comments. Hit that subscription button, hit that bell to get notified when we put out new videos. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope to catch you the next one.